We have just finished the release of this on my YouTube channel. The video is out now for people to experience. I'm at a watch party here in Anacortes, Washington. I just got a message from my mom saying fantastic. Thanks, Mom. In Anacortes, Washington, I'm here with a lot of the original cast and crew from the 2019 production. I had seen the show in the last year preparing to release it, but they hadn't seen it in a while, and we had a lot of tears in the house tonight as people were watching Pray the Gay Away the musical. My reason for creating Pray the Gay Away the musical is to bring more awareness to gay conversion therapy and to explain the cultural, political, and religious forces that support and fight against gay conversion therapy. But the writer is a horrible person to write about their show. We need to get someone more interesting. And, oh, I saw the therapist walking. I'll get some pretty fun people here to talk about the show. I'm really surprised at the support we got in the chat. People were understanding what we were doing with the show. And it seems like people were really connecting with the storyline. I did a lot of research for this show. I did interviews with people that had gone through gay conversion therapy and with Exodus International. A lot of literature on gay conversion therapy. We show a lot of the practices and the progression with this kind of therapy as it gets more and more intense as it goes along. There was someone in the chat today who said they'd never heard of gay conversion therapy. They, I think, just came to the show because they thought it would be fun. That's the whole purpose of this show. A show that would appeal to a wide audience, general audience, but that in the process, they would learn a little bit about gay conversion therapy. I would think, you know, the show may not change people's stance if they're entrenched in the faith community, but it'll at least make people have to pause when they've gone through this journey and seeing the devastating emotional effects that this therapy has. Gay conversion therapy has been made illegal in a lot of states, but there's always a loophole, usually a loophole, for religious teachers, ministers. This means that ministers and churches can still funnel adolescents into gay conversion therapy in the United States, and it's legal. And surprise, the largest contributor to gay conversion therapy is churches. So this change for gay conversion therapy can't be legislated because of this loophole. The change has to come within the faith community. There are a lot of churches that have become accepting of the LGBTQ community within their churches. Some of the Episcopal churches, the ELCA Lutheran churches, that are the reconciling churches. The entire congregations actually go through a training that's pretty serious. They have to vote on it as a congregation. So it's not just simply saying, oh yeah, we accept them. I'll tell you an interesting story that I don't think anyone knows. So during the pandemic, I work in the performing arts. I was unemployed. I couldn't work. Performing arts were shut down. There was a Lutheran church that when Pray the Gay Away came out, I was told the main consensus was, well, do we really have to talk about this now, you know? Well, in the pandemic several years later, they needed a music director, and I was asked to apply. And my first question was, are you accepting the LGBTQ community? And they said, oh yeah, of course we are. It's great. Are you a reconciling church? It was a Lutheran church. And they go, what's that? Well, I looked it up, and sure enough, they weren't. The congregations, it's not enough to the LGBTQ community just to say, oh yeah, we accept you. There's a little more training that's involved in that to be a safe place. And I'm sure there's many churches that do that, but one that I know takes it seriously is the ELCA Lutheran churches that are reconciling. I see someone far more interesting than me that I might get the director of Pray the Gay Away, Lindsay Bowen. Here she is. She's way better at talking about the show than me. Never have the writer talk about the show.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I am reliving what we put a year and a half, 2 years into. You put a far more years, but myself.
More. Over
myself
2 years.
over 2 years, right? But your whole life's career of writing music. And I am, if my eyes look puffy, it's because I was crying because of the emotional journey that we all went through in order to believe in this story and to cast this show and work through every scene to try to bring it to the stage in such a beautiful way that moved the audience. And 5 years later, it's even more moving than it was before, and it's so important today. And I could not be more proud of this composer and writer and my dear, dear friend Conrad. Thank you for gifting us this show.
Oh, it takes a village.
Yes, it does, and I can't wait to see it done again. I hope that this gets picked up by other theaters, community theaters, large theaters everywhere, and that this story can continue to change lives.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, give me the microphone. Yeah, we're really hoping that the show will reach a wider audience so they know about gay conversion therapy. Not just that, but the church's view of the LGBTQ community and what the reaction of that is to individuals. The LGBTQ community has a larger suicide rate than other groups, and a main contributor to adolescents, the suicide rate within the LGBTQ community is gay conversion therapy. So letting people know about this isn't just to be warm and fuzzy. I feel like I want to telefone now. It's to actually save lives. Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? Oh, we have one of the cast members here. Put this on. You just put it on your collar.
Oh, perfect.
So had you seen the show since we did the show?
I saw it once, like 4 years ago, because I got the DVD,
Okay.
and I cried again tonight, and then it's been 5 years, and I was just sitting on the bench, I was doing all the choreography, like it all just came back.
Oh, yeah, Jingle Sisters. We got Jingle Sisters in the house. With the Jingle Sisters, our little takeoff on Lawrence Welk. They're doing these cute jingles and saying absolutely filthy things supporting the therapy. I'm going to give my mic away and let them talk because they're way more interesting. Just share about what you thought was the show. You just put it on your collar.
This way. I know how technology works. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, that show happened so long ago, and I have not watched it since we did it. Mm-hmm. And it really was like the whole rehearsal process, everything was coming back to me, where I was at that point in my life. I'm married now to one of our stage crew. A lot of life has happened since that show.
You guys met during Pray the Gay Away, didn't you?
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia, the show just before, but we got engaged during Pray the Gay Away. And I don't know, the message is the same. It's still the waves of emotion. Watching the show, experiencing all of it again it was beautiful. I was so glad to be surrounded by everybody here.
I think that there is something interesting to say about the show, considering we performed it in 2019, and it was very relevant then, and somehow we've circled back to being incredibly relevant now. I think that it is really important, especially in like today's journalism and the way we consume our news and our media, to remember that there is space for the queer community and the religious community to coexist. I think that alienating one or the other isn't going to solve any of our problems.
They will not erase us, in other words.
Correct.
Yeah.
In either aspect.
Yeah, and I think it's great that there's a celebration of joy. It's very hard to watch at points, but I think the ending gets us every time. And I also thought it was really cool because during the show in the lobby, we had representatives from different church delegations as well as the Trevor Project. So that way, if anyone needed guidance or support after the show, I thought it was really cool that we were able to offer that to everyone, regardless of their sexuality or their denomination.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's all my words.
I know, I've missed it all so much.
Yeah.
I had my, I guess he's my step-nephew, kind of. My mom has posters of every show I've been in, and he saw the Pray the Gay Away poster hanging on the wall, and he asked his mom, my stepsister, and was like, or my sister-in-law, was like, why does Grandma Kim hate gay people? And then she had to explain the story of what this show is. And then he was like, okay, I'm really glad that that's not what it was. He's like 9 years old.
And when we first did the show, we participated in a few pride parades, which was really fun. But we were very carefully coached before going there to make sure we had like a 30-second elevator pitch, just in case anyone was like, what are you doing here? Are you protesting? I remember I went into an establishment for like a drink or something, and they almost kicked me out. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no.
Like, I swear.
Here's my 30-second elevator pitch. I promise we're here to do good things.
Yes, always good things.
Did you want to talk? Do you have something to share?
Sure,
Just grab one of the mics.
Hello, friend. I have lotion on, so hopefully this doesn't slide away. My name is Lila. I was also a Jingle Sister with these lovely ladies. We're missing about half of us, but that's okay. To kind of just recap on what Olivia and Krista were saying, I think that obviously the show is really relevant when we made it. It's even more relevant now, unfortunately, and hopefully it becomes less relevant. That would be really ideal. It was just an incredible opportunity to be part of this, and this was the first show that I ever got to be in that was like an original production by somebody, and Conrad is an incredible creator of things. He's doing a fun little dance in the background right now. But yeah, it's just been an absolute honor, and I hope that the next step of this show is even bigger and better than anything we could imagine. And I think that we've all kind of had the expectation and the hope that that would be the way it is eventually.
Except I heard that there's going to be some cuts to the cast. Is that like Jingle Sisters with like a thing?
They can't hear you. Let's go.
Our Jingle Sisters safe.
Yeah, you gotta hold the bear.
Just comment if you want the Jingle Sisters to be safe.
Yeah, I'll grab one of the mics.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you this mic back.
Okay, so the reason we're sharing Pray the Gay Way the musical is we're hoping that someone will want to workshop with us and bring this show to a wider audience. This show is, I wrote it to appeal to a wide audience because I want people to know about gay conversion therapy. That's the whole point of this show, is to let a general audience know about gay conversion therapy and to let members of the faith community see the progression into electroshock treatments for gay conversion therapy. It's absolutely brutal. Moses, show your shirt. So Moses here is wearing one of the original Pray the Gay Away shirts.
I'm stuck.
Let me get.
Here you
Go
go.
ahead.
Hold on. All right. Let me switch.
Here.
Or there we go. Perfect.
So I go so people can see this. So our cast members were wearing this around town. Big Pray the Gay Away shirts.
People kind of thought that we were maybe protesting against it or whatever it was, when a lot of us are queer.
So they
In
were
the show.
showing up. Cast members were showing up. All of us had these shirts. And we joined, a lot of the cast members joined a local Pride March wearing these shirts. And of course the people at the Pride March, they see this big group of people with Pray the Gay Away shirts and they're like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? So a lot of people said, I just don't feel comfortable wearing the shirt in public. And we got that, because it takes a little bit of context. Here, let me put the mic on for you.
I've been trying to get it on for...
Yeah, it just goes like that.
Okay, perfect.
And so, I don't know, share a little bit. We just finished watching the premiere with members of the original cast and crew of the 2019 production. Moses here was in the original 2019 production.
Yes.
What was it like to see it 5 years later?
I wasn't really fully out of the closet, during the show. I didn't come out as non-binary. I didn't come out using they, them pronouns or anything like that. I was kind of reserved, trying to my mind was, I don't know, just, it was really hard to just say anything about who I am, just in general. And so, with the way that our world is right now, it's really scary, but it was really good to watch Pray They Get Away after 5 yeres.
Was there any particular scene that kind of spoke to you or got you? Or?
I think it was Bray's last solo at the end, because that's where even people from the church are coming together and supporting queer people, and they were coming together and had just this song, and it was really, that's where I cried. It's real. The entire show is very real.
So a lot of the elements in the show, sometimes people would say, wow, Conrad, you've got a really twisted theatrical mind. The things in the show are real. The things you see in the conversion therapy are actual elements that have been used in the past in therapy. The scriptural arguments, those are all real arguments. The things that are said kind of behind closed doors, I haven't said on stage. These are things I've heard working in churches. A lot of the people in the chat were like, I know this. I've heard this before. Yeah, a lot of the things in the show are kind of dog whistles to the faith community. There's a lot of things in there, especially Protestants will recognize, oh, this feels real.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of liturgical music and traditional hymn styles written into the show. The choral parts are written SATB. It's standard 4-part harmony, so it has that kind of older kind of church
I've been
feel.
doing that in school lately, composing stuff like that for that same kind of scripture style of SATB music. And the way that you wrote the music and composed it to really kind of almost make it two sides, but you added elements of church music and old hymns, but you also added a lot of pop mixes.
So my background, I've worked for churches for over 20 years, doing music and being music director for different churches, and I grew up in the Lutheran church. So that liturgical kind of sound, the 4-part harmony. So when I was growing up in the Lutheran church, I would get bored at the sermons, like a lot of kids do.
Right.
I would open the hymnal, and as a kid, I'd be analyzing the 4-part harmony, and my mom would look over, and she thought I was reading the Bible during the sermon, and she thought it was so wonderful. I was reading the 4-part harmony, so I'm glad I got to put that to good use in Pray the Gay Away and get kind of an authentic church sound. Thank you so much for being part of the original production.
Of course, I really enjoyed it, Conrad. It was really enjoyable.
We're hoping this show reaches a wider audience, and that we will find a director, a producer, or a patron of the arts that would like to work with me on revisions to bring it to the next level. Most of the shows have been on Broadway. They've gone through several runs of workshops, shows like Come From Away. One of the few musicals that didn't was Book of Mormon. But you know, they had top Broadway people working on it. They didn't do the revisions, but every show needs revisions. They say that great musicals aren't written, they're rewritten. And the other saying is musicals are never finished, they're just abandoned. Thank you so much. Please watch my musical, Pray the Day Away.
Watch
a
it.
story about gay conversion therapy. It's on my YouTube channel right now. Go watch it. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.